Good morning. We don't have a whole lot to show today because it's mostly just been rainy and nothing special, but I did want to kind of come over here and show off these black Krim tomatoes. This one's grown so much since I'd last did a video on it. Unfortunately, it looks like it's cracking due to the high amount of rain we've had. In the past few days, we've had at least 5 or 6 inches fall in less than 24 hours. So I would definitely say that the black Krim is prone to cracking. The other one I picked was cracked too. This one's not, but I think this is probably about as ripe as I'm going to let it get before I go ahead and pick it, just because there is a lot of bird activity and I don't want any insect damage on it. Honestly, it looks a lot like a Cherokee purple to me. It doesn't have the complete purpling that a Cherokee purple does, but it does have that same dusky rose color. I think if it was allowed to ripen more, it probably would. It hasn't really got any black on it or darkening, and I think that's because there's actually a grove of trees shading this area. And so I think once it dries up this week, I'll probably come in and cut a lot of these trees down and give it some more sun. But you can see how tall these are getting. Even with all the rain, they are just massive plants. This one is by far the tallest. It's almost as tall as I am, and I'm about 5'5". You can see all of our blackberry plants. They're actually finally taking off, getting over the transplant shock. And all of these other tomatoes, they just didn't really take well. These are striped pineapple over here. And these are the Cherokee purples, which really usually do the best out of all of my tomatoes. But these have not this year. So I'm really not sure what's going on. I think the lighting may have a lot to do with it. So hopefully clearing that out makes a really big difference. I honestly think in this bed, until I get a deeper bed, because this one's only 12 inches deep, I'll probably stick to just growing determinate type tomatoes, because they tend to be more of a bush type and not grow very big. And I do have some Roma tomato seeds, so I may go ahead and try that. This is the Sweet 100. Again, it didn't do very well, but that could also be my fault because the beds are not very deep at all. And here's one of the little tomatoes. You can see they're just so tiny. I think you could probably fit 10 of these into a regular size spoon. Here's our cucumber plants. They're coming up, doing well. This one's not doing so well. It actually looks kind of sad, but the other ones are popping up. And here's our okra. It's getting so big so quickly. This is a dinosaur kale, and I'm so impressed with it because they don't usually do crazy well during our summers, but this one's managed to hold on. It's actually doing quite well, except for a little bit of worm damage. So I said it before, I'm definitely gonna save some seeds from it because it seems to be pretty heat tolerant, and I'm really impressed by it. And hopefully once the summer's over, it'll just take off big time. Some more blackberries. This is the blackberry that we've had the longest, and it's actually doing pretty well. It still has a little bit of leaf damage, but this type is really resistant to a lot of viruses that other blackberries have, and it's thornless. So I really like that, especially with having small children. This is a muscadine cross grape. I want to say that it said muscadine and home country grape. I have no idea what that means, but I know that they're going to resemble muscadine grapes. So I'm really excited about that. I was really shocked when I was researching muscadines because my mom just happened to come across this plant and find out that they actually produce and live for up to 200 years. And I don't know if that's exaggerated or not, but for sure we have some along our property line that our neighbor planted over 25 years ago, and they're still producing grapes. They actually have baby grapes out there, which is really exciting. Of course, the poison ivy's taken over them, so I'll be really glad to see these produce. And these are okra plants. These are Clemson spineless okra, so they don't have the spikes on them that a lot of okra plants do. They're really smooth, and they're actually growing extremely fast, so I'm excited to see in another 3 or 4 weeks we should have quite a bit of okra producing, and these will just suddenly shoot up in the hottest part of summer here, and these and the melons will probably be the only things still producing and still hanging on to life come August. So that's it. I just wanted to give a quick update, especially on those tomatoes, because I know when I was first growing tomatoes, I was really curious how to know when they're ripe and what stages they go through to get ripe. So here are some flowers, which you can't really see because they're still closed. And then here's the green. This one does have cracking because of the water. And then here's one that's just about ripe. And I'm going to let my son come out here because he's been waiting for days to pick this and pull it off. It will get much more ripe than this, but I don't want to take the chance, especially with there already a blemish on it. So I hope that really helps you out. I hope that gives you an idea of what everything looks like.